The following music is performed by the musical Messiah, aka the most dangerous Bible believer. Please be advised by how hard it hits.
If you do it, you gon' have to prove it, you gon' lose it. Nigga, living life in my paradigm, shifting time from one state of mind. Something like the truth is, yes sir, I can prove it. Go ahead, bring the hallelujah to the back up on the beat, back up on the sweet, pack up all who speak bad on O&E. You don't wanna have to do it, 'cause if you do it, you gon' have to prove it, you gon' lose it. Nigga, living life in my paradigm, shifting time from one state of mind. Something like the truth is, yes sir, I can prove it. Go ahead, bring the hallelujah to the back up on the beat, back up on the sweet, pack up all who speak bad on O&E. You might know that neo-love, but neo-love O&E above. Switching lanes in the turning lane, old school, no roof above. Carpool, no room for her. Bitch, you cartoons, we gets it up. We check the sources, you listen to voices, you are not living like us. You say you creeping in houses and all of the monsters is living in fearing of us. Pussy, we are not monsters and we are not pouncing and we are not giving a fuck. We up the score on you niggas, we done outgrowed on you niggas, nigga. Yeah, with DM the G, Craig and the Craig and nobody. They saying Judah the Nads, but he be trash. Bring me the bag. Why the fuck would you brag? No, you ain't living that bad, you are not rad. I take your choices and put them inside of a bag. Smoke them like hash, then dump out the ash and now the pussy on the crash. You don't wanna have to do it, 'cause if you do it, you gon' have to prove it, you gon' lose it. Nigga, living life in my paradigm, shifting time from one state of mind. Something like the truth is, yes sir, I can prove it. Go ahead, bring the hallelujah to the back up on the beat, back up on the sweet, pack up all who speak bad on O&E. You don't wanna have to do it, 'cause if you do it, you gon' have to prove it, you gon' lose it. Nigga, living life in my paradigm, shifting time from one state of mind. Something like the truth is, yes sir, I can prove it. Go ahead, bring the hallelujah to the back up on the beat, back up on the sweet, pack up all who speak bad on O&E. Life in my paradigm, shifting time from one state of mind. Something like the truth is, yes sir, I can prove it. Go ahead, bring the hallelujah to the back up on the beat, back up on the sweet, pack up all who speak bad on.
Welcome to Paradigm Shift TV3. This is your brother DMG, aka Brother Bianchi, and we got a live one for you. Now, hey, y'all know, man, there's been a lot going on this month as it relates to the Versus series. And I gotta admit, it can get a little bit overwhelming, especially for your boy, because I got stuff I gotta do in real life. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm gonna put the link in the chat in a minute. But before I get into my spiel, let me do my usual greeting, man. Let me do my usual greeting. Let me say God bless to my Christian brothers and sisters. Let me say Hotep to my Kemetic brothers and sisters. Let me say Assalamu alaikum to all my brothers in the NOI. Let me say Islam to all my Moorish brothers and sisters. Let me say Shalom to my Israelite brothers and sisters. Let me say salute to all my atheist brothers and sisters. Let me say what up to all my Abo brothers and sisters. Big shout out all my Naga brothers and sisters. Peace to all my brothers and sisters in the nation of God's and earth, them 5%ers. Last and certainly not least, I want to say jumbo to all the rest of my brothers and sisters all throughout the African diaspora, be it here in the wilderness of the United States of America under Trump or beyond. Y'all know I say that greeting for one reason and one reason only. It's because if you're Black, I'm with you, and I hope you with me. Our different ideologies should not keep us from uniting. We can have unity without uniformity, and we can disagree without being disrespectfully disagreeable. That's the hardest part for some reason. That being said, man, everybody want to know who took home the W in this debate between the Fit Barber, my brother, and Michael Everett, my other brother. That being said, man, it was a close one. It was a close one. But the edge went to one debater and one debater only. But again, it was a tough contest. Both of them brought the heat. Y'all saw even the brother, the good brother Sonetta came up and paid his respects to the brothers. But y'all know what it is, man. It's the Versus series. There can only be one winner unless it's a tie. You know, we may get a tie here and there. But there can only be one winner, man. And yeah, it wasn't St. Louis's own the Fit Barber. It was the Michael Everett, the birthday boy, celebrated with his birthday with a win. And when that top 10 come out at the end of the month, we're going to see where our brother is ranked, because he just beat the number 6 debater in the Versus series. We're going to see how far down our brother, the Fit Barber, falls now that we are in the top 10, because he was 6th. He was ranked 6th in the top 6 rankings. So now how far do he fall down to number 10? Do he fall to 8, 9, 7? All I know is wherever he fall, the Michael Everett will have to come in above him because he just beat him. And, you know, we're going to commiserate and find out who's ranked and who's not. But I think the Michael Everett has a good case for being ranked, as it were. Now, what's next? What's next for the Fit Barber? What's next for the Michael Everett? We got to find both of them some opponents, keep this thing going. I got some ideas about who the Fit Barber could face, and I have some ideas about who Michael Everett could face. I'm thinking Michael Everett and TKO Takari Dawson. That's what I'm thinking. Now, hey, shit, you know, my big brother BK don't really, he be debating them big dogs, man. He be debating them big dogs. I might have to see if BK want a piece of the champ, Pandemus. You know what I mean? But BK be over there debating the Tazoriaks of the world. But shout out to my big bro, the Don, as I call him, Don Alfredo, my big brother BK. But I wouldn't mind seeing TKO to Corey Dawson against the Michael Everett. Now, hey, don't get the sad face, Mike. Don't get the sad face. TKO is a formidable opponent. We just got to come up with a good topic. And I'm kind of looking at You say he threw his hat in the ring, huh? Oh man. Okay. We gonna I'm gonna have to hit up Big Bro. I'm gonna have to hit up Big Bro. But I think the affirmative was with the Fit Barber, Timothy's. Um, I'm thinking for the Fit Barber, man. We might bring it back to health and nutrition because that's another one of his bags. He is a certified personal trainer, and he is also a vegan. So, but I don't want to misrepresent anything as it relates to that. So I would get with him and see what he thinking. But you got Bosco, he's still out there. You got TKO Takori out there. You got I don't know if Heru consciousness is serious. I don't know if he's serious. But Vocab Malone still out there. We got Cedric out there. And speaking of Cedric, somebody stepped up and challenged the pseudo slayer. Somebody stepped up and challenged the pseudo slayer, man. And he goes by the name of the Slim Reaper. Now, for those who know, you know. For those who know, you know. But the Slim Reaper is a very formidable individual in these paradigm shift TV streets. Him and Cedric may be having a banger. So Cedric has his hands full with that one. We also have our undisputed versus series world champion in the building. And I'm gonna hit this link because we got to get a topic for you and the chief ambassador LP, because LP said it's up to the champ what the topic is. Now, hey, that's a lot of grace to give somebody, but he says it's up to the champ. I need the champ to come in, the new argument king, the real argument king. I need him to come in the building and give me some ideas on what this topic gonna be, because we talking about the 28th of April for this contest. And real quick before the undisputed champion get into his spiel, I gotta do a little something. I cannot let the brother speak until I do a little something. And y'all bear with me because this is kind of important. I'm not gonna lie. But we have a situation where we have, like, it's I'm gonna call it sore loser syndrome, where somebody get beat and they just can't let it go. And so before the champ get into his spiel about him and LP, I got something I want to play, and then I want to get your comments on this sore loser syndrome that we got going on in the community, my brother. But before you even say a word, I gotta play this.
The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here!
Hey, I was jamming. You could let that joint rock out, man. What's popping? What's good with you, family? How's everything?
Hey man, I'm maintaining, brother. I'm maintaining.
As well, you should be. Thank you for having me.
No doubt. So talk to me, man. What welcome to the aftermath. But what's the deal with this disease, this sickness spreading throughout the community where it just seems nobody knows how to take a pill?
Honestly, I mean, really, it's a study, and you really could look into it deeper into our community. And part of the reason why we are in a situation that we're in as a whole, honestly, because we're unable to look at each other as men, as women, and respect each other to the point where we can have a disagreement and end it. Like, you know what I'm saying, we can have a fight and be able to have a drink afterwards, right? Like it should be like that, and most times it's not like that in our communities, and I think that's something that we need to work on. And the only way to do that is you got to look at yourself and be like, okay, what is it about me that's making it like this? You know what I'm saying? Because I can't front in this. I told you before, you know what I'm saying? I come from an actual boxing and MMA fight background. So, you know what I'm saying? Getting ranked and going through the rankings and losing, you got to just eat the loss if you lose. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. If you get a bad decision, you don't like what the refs did, you don't like what the judges did, you just, that's just what it is. But you signed up. If you signed up for the fight, win or lose, what you signed up for is what's jumping. You know what I mean? And that's my problem with most of this, because most of the complaints that I be hearing is the stuff that cats knew was going in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro, it's crazy to me, and I understand what you're saying. So I took Muay Thai for about a month. I got to get back in there and get back started, but the gym closed. But it's a few more around my area that I need to check into and try to pick that back up. But bro, I got my butt handed to me. Now you talking about somebody who thought they could fight, but see, you never realize how much you can't fight till you meet somebody who really can fight.
Yes, sir.
And not on no brawling high school street. I'm talking about they can really fight. And yeah, I got my butt kicked. It was embarrassing because my son was there. But listen, I took that L because the only way I was going to get better was understanding the mistakes I made, adjusting, training, and getting back in the ring. I just don't know where we went wrong with grown men. Grown men. I'm talking about 60s, 50s, 40s, not being able to say, all right, I lost, let's move on. Instead, they got to go and make disparaging comments against their opponent. They got to make disparaging comments against the platform they was on. The judges that the platform chose got to be fake. Excuse me. And you could have just took the L, came back bigger and better, and we all good. I'm confused, man. But it's like a sickness. I see it on multiple fronts in this community, and it's gotten old at this point. But
And it take the fun and the competitiveness out of it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you will never lose, if you
absolutely,
know what I'm saying, what's the fun in the competition? You know what I'm saying?
and the crazy thing is, we have a setup now in the Versus series. Check with Michael Everett. Check with Bosco. Check with Fit Barber. Check with yourself, and check with your opponent who seems to have caught the disease of crying about taking a loss. When I say I pay, I'm paying. I pay. Shout out
Absolutely.
to my donors, y'all ladies know who y'all are, and I appreciate y'all making it possible for me to pay the earnings that I say I'm gonna pay. Uh, but hey, listen, I'm sitting here like y'all getting paid. So you didn't refuse the payment and say this was a fraudulent debate. The judges was this and the judges was that. You took that bread and you still want to go on these other platforms that then disrespected my platform and talk stuff about what it is we do. But you took the bread. That's a
And yeah, that's big bad. That might be the worst part of all of this. But as far as the judges and things, like acting like the judges being anonymous was something that cats didn't know about coming in is crazy. Like everybody knew that coming in. Like we've been doing it since last year, the other tournament. That's what people was advertised to come over here to do. So I don't understand. You know what I mean? It's just weird to me, bro. You doing a good thing over here. You with the Craigs, man. Big up the verses. Paradigm shift to the world, fam. That's what it is.
yeah, bro. It really, as the country folks say, it sticks in my craw that you take my bread and then you go disparage my platform with somebody who been disrespecting my platform for because they didn't know how to take a L. That's real crazy to me. But you know what? We're gonna move on from the sick and demented folks in our community, and we're gonna talk about your next title defense. We're gonna talk about your next, yeah, because people don't be wanting me to do stuff like this, and then they forget that I put money in people's pocket. So I bought the right to talk stuff back to them. How about that? For anybody that's mad about it, I bought the right to talk stuff back to them when they talk stuff about me after they took my money. So that being said, bro, you defending the title again. And so this will be the second title defense in 1 month
Ah, yes.
against an old rival of yours, a rivalry that apparently has been in place since before me and you hooked up. Talk to us about your upcoming title defense on April 28th against the Chief Ambassador LP the Great.
Well, yes. Our rivalry actually goes back further than even me and James's rivalry did. Um, we ain't gotta get into the history of it on here. However, it's time that he and I finally met. He decided he wanted to see me debate three people before I was able to be graced with his presence. So here he is now. We have not found a debate topic yet. Um, as a matter of fact, he did say he'll take whatever I come up with, and I've been trying to come up with something good. Our conversation started from what is the goal of the New Testament? Is it to become a missionary and convert people, or is it to just tell people to love everybody? Um, if you can formulate a title out of that, that would be good because that was the conversation. Um, there was another part. There was another. I got notes written somewhere else. So something else about the kingdom. Who will be ruling the kingdom in the coming Christian end game kingdom? You know what I'm saying? After Armageddon. But I think I want to stick on that. What is the mission of Christianity? Is it to convert, or is it to just tell people to love thy neighbor? What you think?
Okay. I, you know, I'm gonna leave my comment out of it
Okay.
because I'm gonna let this be between you and the Chief Ambassador.
The only
Hyperion,
reason I say asked you is because you be formulating thoughts into titles sometimes. So if you
right?
could think of it,
Yeah. That's why I'm like, I'm gonna hit you in your inbox though, because remember he
okay.
said you come up with the title, so I'm gonna hit you in your inbox and give that some thought, because yeah, that's it's an interesting philosophical question, if nothing else, to me. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I'm definitely gonna give it some thought.
Mhm.
So yeah, Hyperius the Troll says face off. But is it a need for a face off when he said the choice is yours?
Not, I guess not really. I mean, he could. It could be. We could do a face off just for the fact that to see if he gonna accept it.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, the crying tour is live and in effect. And yeah, that's what it is. But I think LP might be a formidable challenge for you, man. And you know, that brother be debating and preaching at the same time, bro.
you're right. He
Like
might actually convert
that
me.
bro was debating one time, and I was in my chair about to say hallelujah, and then I had to remember I was like, whoa, I'm the moderator. Hold up, let me get myself together because I'm about to be like hallelujah up in this mud. Hey,
Now see,
so
hey, listen, he could try that shit that James tried too, though. He could try and prove something.
hey, yeah, man, I think this might be your most formidable challenge yet. So let's see, man. You debated what? You debated Lord Banu, right?
Yes,
In the tournament, I mean. We going back to the tournament. You debated Lord
right.
Banu, uh,
Uh,
A1, and J
and
Fat.
yes,
Then you just defeated James Cassell. So for those who don't know, the brother is 4-0 officially in the Versus series. 4-0. Again, our reigning, defending, undisputed, distinguished Versus series champ. And yeah, Michelle, like, you know, that's the thing, man. I wanted to create an environment where whether you win or you lose in a boxing match, you get paid for your performance and for getting in the ring and training and all of that, right? Same thing in the UFC. Both fighters enter the cage, they both leave with a paycheck for that fight, right? So for me, it's important to if in my vision for a debate league, it's about emulating the UFC in that you put this information together, you put it in a PowerPoint or a presentation, and you present it to the audience. That's heavy work. Doing the research and getting the information, putting it in a PowerPoint that's gonna be eye catching and cohesive at the same time, and presenting that information to the audience. Yeah, I want everybody to walk away paid, just like when two fighters step in the ring in the UFC or in boxing, they both leave paid, no matter who won, no matter who lost. Now, here in the Versus series, standard match, that's $100 match. They split in $100. Each debater walking away with $50. If you are a champ, though, like the Pan Man or like Dr. Too Sweet, world title, social media title, the champ gets $100, challenger gets 50. And that's the pay structure, period. But everybody who entered the ring leaving with $50 to $100, period. And now you can't show me nobody else doing this in these spaces, and nobody doing it out of their own pocket or with the help of donors, sponsors, etc. Because I know Sinetta put on events where he pay debaters a nice fee, but those pay-per-view events. Even if he have it on the channel and he pay, hey, that's cool, but that's a one-time thing. Everybody not getting paid that step into the ring because he don't have a league. He got a debate platform, but it's not a league where they have title matches set up and stuff like that. Shout out to Big Bro, the Godfather, etc. So it's not the same thing that he doing. I know it's these other so-called debate leagues. They just got cats arguing on over there for free, but you getting paid for your work over here. And so for a sucker to take my money and then go disparage my platform, that's the ultimate sign of disrespect. It's disrespectful to his opponent. It's disrespectful to me as the platform provider. It's disrespectful to the Craigs who put this versus series thing together. And it's disrespectful to all the other debaters. So I have to wash my hands with individuals like that. And that's all it is to it. But shout out to you. You said that's a good pay structure. And that's real talk. And so with that being said, man, you and LP on the 28th, we might have to move that thing to May, bro. Cause that 28th date is gonna be creeping up on us sooner than we think. We might have to move that thing to May. You know what I mean?
I'm good with that. It was just because of the fire and it was all hot and everything. Everybody was arguing. Make a schedule that makes sense. I'm down with that.
Yeah, let's move it to like the first week of May. Say that way, you will be on an early pace for a title defense a month. Not that we're trying to keep that pace, because eventually, stuff gonna be coming up. We're gonna get Doc Too Sweet in here. We're gonna have some months where it ain't no world title defenses. But these first two months, a few months of competition, you going back to back.
Let's get it. Knock these heads off real quick. It's nothing. Easy work. You know how we do. Trauma unit, baby.
No doubt. And later this summer, we got the tandem division coming. I'm just trying to work out the kinks on how we going to do the pay structure for the tandem division. I'm thinking we're going to just keep the same pay structure, but by being tag team, or for lack of a better title, tag team, but team debates where they two individuals will team up and go against two other individuals. That's why we're calling it the tandem division. We're gonna have a 4 to 6 team tournament to determine our champions. Because see, we don't just name champions over here. We make you earn it. You got to run that gauntlet. So, but we're gonna figure out who those champions are in a tournament, and then they'll be defending those tandem division titles coming up once that's crowned. We also have the Versus Series Cup in honor of our great sister, Mama B.
Mama B, Mama B, Mama
I
B.
was gonna name it we was gonna call it the Barber Cup or the Mama B Cup, but she was like, nah, that's she not with all that. So she was like, nah, let's give it something else. So we came up with the Versus Cup, but we thinking a 4 to 8 man tournament, and you walking away with a $300 cash prize. Now, at first, I was gonna try to say, hey, maybe the winner of that Versus Cup can go against Pan and Dr. Too Sweet. But now I'm like, man, the Pan and Dr. Too Sweet might want that cup.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So we're gonna work that out as we get closer to it. That's gonna be more towards the latter months of the summer. So the tandem division sort of around June, and the Barber Cup maybe closer to the middle to the end of August. But we talking about it now because we doing what we say we gonna do. And just like we said we was gonna start paying debaters, and we did it. We said we was gonna crown a champ, we did it. We said we was gonna crown a social media champ, we did it. So that's what it is, man. I'm looking forward to you and LP, but we got one this weekend, man. And they got a face-off coming up in about 40 minutes or so. Let me check the time on that. But we got GT and Courtney Thompson, man. We got Christian on Christian violence, intellectual violence. Yeah, they're gonna be going at it in about a half hour in a face-off. So we gonna be getting up out of here in about 10 to 12 minutes or so. But these brothers are gonna have a little bit of old-fashioned Christian on Christian violence. See, a lot of people don't realize. You said an hour and 5. So it's a 10 o'clock. So it's 9:30 where I am. Might as well say, Courtney. And it's a half hour and 5 minutes on mine. Okay, cool. So yeah, in about a half hour, yeah. But yeah, we got Christian on Christian violence, and Christians used to debate each other all the time, and they still do, really. But in our community, Christians like I ain't debating no other Christian. It's almost like they really think they fighting or something, or they don't want to prove the other person wrong, even though they know they don't believe what that person believe wholesale, because you do have these doctrinal differences. And so my two Christian brothers, my fellow Christian brothers, Courtney Thompson and the GT, said, bump that. We getting in the ring. And these brothers are asking, when did the Exodus occur? When did the Exodus occur? The GT is more on the David Rowe side of things and that revised chronology. Courtney is more on the consensus side of things, I believe. I don't want to misrepresent you, Courtney. But this is going to be an interesting debate, man. I'm looking forward to it myself. So that is Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Time. 6 p.m. Central Time. Be in the building for that debate. GT versus Courtney Thompson. When did the Exodus occur? And Courtney, listen, hit the link. Hit the link if you can, bro. But man, who you got in that debate, man? Because somebody got to come in and get ranked off of that one.
You off the GT and Courtney joint?
Mm-hmm.
I got a knee-jerk reaction, but that's just because of past contention. So I'm just going to say, without saying that, so which one is taking, what date are they taking? Who's taking it early and who's taking it late?
Man, so it's a little complicated because, again, you got GT, he's talking about a revised chronology for ancient Egypt. So I don't know if who has the early. I think GT's is earlier and Courtney's is later. I think. But again, GT is coming off of he's saying that there's a revised chronology. Courtney is here. Come up, Courtney is in the building, and he can actually give some insight onto who has the earlier date. It's on you, Courtney. Can you hear us? It don't look like the brother muted, but you might have to come go out and come back in, Courtney, if you can't hear us.
Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you, bro.
Now you can, you said?
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, so my date, I'm going with the 13th century BCE date. I think in light of David Roll's chronology, it's still some type of we might get a little more clarification. I don't want to misrepresent NGT's position, but I think they still get a 1400s, 15th century date. So I'm going with 13. He's going with 15, if I'm not mistaken. Century BCE.
Okay. So you going with the later date?
I'm late date. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. For those who don't know, just for the layman, Courtney, explain how BC era dating works in terms of you saying he's 15 and you 13, but you having a later date.
Sure. So when you're talking about the BC era, the further back you go in history, the higher the number goes. So the closer you come to year one, the lower the number goes. So 1500 BC is technically the 1400s BCE. So that's the 15th century BC. The 13th century would be the 1200s BCE.
There it is. There it is. So yeah, man. This is actually the first. Well, John Norman, real good brother, had a conversation, had a dialogue with Vocab Malone on the channel, but it wasn't a debate. So they didn't have like a clock and all of that to which they had to go by and all of that. But they had a discussion on some doctrinal differences. For those who haven't seen that, check out that video. My brother Byron Washington was kind of moderating. So was my brother Nobody. Shout out to my brother Nobody in the building. But they and real quick, y'all talk amongst yourselves. I gotta take a call. I'll be right back.
Okay.
So, Brother Courtney, what are your plans for your debate with NGT?
let's let's get him on the call too. Because that is the intention of the face off to sort of discuss. I'll outline it in brief. To demonstrate that the time period I'm suggesting is what also the Bible is suggesting in light of archaeological data, primarily.
hmm That's going to be interesting for me too, because I got my own position on that, but I'm curious to see how you guys are going to date that on his side as well. Do you know his position on? I mean, not to like pigeonhole him or misrepresent, but can you give a brief description of what you think his position is?
So on this platform, he's given a presentation on his chronology, his biblical understanding of biblical chronology, and yeah, it is highly influenced from David Roll. So if you really want to understand what NGT's position is, I say consider that because it's him presenting it. I don't know if he's had a change of heart. Maybe we'll figure out if he has today or what for the debate. But that's at least what he's presented in public in the past. Um, so that's what I'm sort of expecting. Basically, what David Roll's revised chronology does is it redates the New Kingdom chronology by like 200 years, 150, 200 years. So it pushes up the dates in order to try to make um, the archaeological data fit with the biblical narrative. And I think that's wrongheaded.
I agree. So, for the paradigm shifters that may not know you or have not met you yet, you want to give us a brief introduction?
Sure. So I have done a video on this platform before on textual criticism. Check the stream, check the playlist, check the things. But yeah, so I'm a Christian. Um I'm a Negro, if that matters. But yeah, I'm a
I'm not sure if you muted yourself, brother. Can you hear me? Check one. All right. I am no longer hearing the brother. People in the chat, can y'all hear something? All right. So I guess it's just me right now. So
hello.
guys, it's great. Oh yeah, there you go. I'm so glad you
Oh,
came back because I don't know what I was about to say.
what just happened? What did I say? What did you hear last?
I was so busy trying to figure out what just happened that I don't remember at this point. So you was giving yourself an introduction.
Yeah, my name is Courtney Thompson. I'm a Christian. I'm originally from Chicago. I live in Georgia now, but I'm still back and forth. Um, got some biblical training underneath my belt, and I did an interview. Leandre picked up at the last quarter, last half of the interview. It's on this platform with DMG. He began the interview on textual criticism of the New Testament. That's really one of my favorite fields as it relates to New Testament or biblical studies, textual criticism. But I've expanded. I got a little bit more underneath my belt. I love history. I love philosophy. I love theology. Did you hear all of that though, Pan?
Oh, I did. I said no. I had myself on mute. I said
Okay.
okay. So, and are you ready for your face off this evening?
Yes.
Because I'm not sure if he's in the chat or nothing like that. Um. All right. I'm not sure what his plan was, but it looked like the link is still in the chat. So if anybody out there, um, actually it don't matter because I can't help let y'all on. So don't do that. So, I know what I can ask you. Okay, so listen, you've debated before, you said, right?
Yeah, I've had some internet debates. Oh, my affiliation with the conscious community and people that may have come over here from all of that is really through Garfield. I used to be affiliated with, well, I'm still sort of affiliated with Dagger Squad.
Okay.
It's, but yeah, I'm still sort of affiliated with Dagger Squad. I've had discussions with Garfield. Um, yeah, I haven't been
Okay.
on none of the platforms for real like that though.
This is my last question because I see Boss Man is back. So now in competition, when presented with adversity and possibly a loss, what is your plan if you don't come out on a winning end?
I'm just going to ask the audience to put their thinking caps on and apply the same criticisms to me that they do to my opponent.
As an honorable warrior should. Brother DMG, welcome back.
Hey, listen, what is it anything GT can do in Sunday's debate that would compel you to believe perhaps the information that you're putting forth about the Exodus may be incorrect?
Personally, no. I mean, because in light of my own upbringing, in and out of Christianity and affiliated with Christianity for as long as I have been, I'm aware of these arguments. And even when I first got into, well, maybe not David Rowe, but when I first got into school for biblical studies, I started to see the early date information throughout some of my reading material. And I never really thought it was coherent. Personally, that's why I never really stood behind the early date information. There was other information that seemed to me to be the better understanding of the material. And I just didn't really know how to work that out. Got a couple of books, went through them, still was iffy, and just began to broaden my horizons on what I knew and learn some more and began to really learn how to break down and assess in particular archaeological digs sites and archaeological dig paperwork. And that's really when my mind exploded as it relates to ancient ethnogenesis, origins of people, sociology, and things of this nature in antiquity. Because yeah, that's really what opened my mind. And now I'm very confident in the position I have. I don't think it's anything that could be shown to uproot me from the position I'm at right now. But I'm willing to hear other positions. And if it's good enough, I don't know what it could make me change, but if it's good enough and it's defendable, I'll be willing to change.
Understood. Yeah. Hey, this gonna be a good one, man. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing y'all get in this ring, man. I don't even know how this thing materialized. GT was supposed to be having a follow up to his talk with Cap, and somehow this thing materialized, and I'm like, oh man. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
Definitely looking forward to it.
you know
What oh, go
my
ahead, man.
finger been real itchy on the trigger ever since the initial debate. You know, I heard what's going on with the brother. I'm praying for you, beloved. But yeah, I'm praying for everything that might be going on with his situation. So I got itchy on the finger when I heard the GT debate, and he mentioned, I think, the Exodus 15th century, and I was like, nope, I got to take him down now. I don't care.
so you heard something he said, and it kind of sparked that competition back up. And yeah, we definitely praying for our brother. We don't have to get into the who's and whys and whats, but we definitely praying for you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. I do remember you asked the question in the chat, and next thing you know, I'm scheduling a debate between y'all. I'm like, wait, how did what happened? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, so now I'm assuming just by this debate happening, you don't have any reservations about debating fellow Christians.
No, because one thing that I really wish some Christian communities did was be a little bit more critical over their assessment of data. A lot of people, and this isn't just on the Christians, it's not a Christian issue, but especially with the
Okay.
internet, a lot of people just go to whoever the dean in the particular field is and they just quote mine them. They just utilize everything they ever said. And they get a completely they get a non-nuanced perspective over whatever the data is. And so, like,
Okay.
again, when I was in school and I was taking my intro to Old Testament, Genesis and Exodus courses and things of this like it, I was reluctant because I just the information just didn't seem to hit with me. You know, I'm not a specialist in ancient Egypt, but stuff wasn't really lining up with what I already knew or even what it seemed like the biblical narrative was trying to tell me. You know, like the one thing, without showing my whole hand, I'll just show y'all my fingernail. One thing, for example, um, the dates. You know, the not even the dates, but the ages of people throughout the biblical narrative, or how old was Moses when he died? You know, he was 120. If you take the chronological 40 plus 40 plus 40, that whole thing, you know, and boy, there's a whole lot of 40s going on. Man, you would have thought E40 wrote Genesis, Exodus, and most of the Old Testament with all these 40s.
That's funny.
Yeah, and I'm
That
being a little
is funny.
facetious, but I'm just saying you can't something might be a little different in these numbers. If there is something a little different in some of these numbers, is there a way to like And then you start learning the ancient Near Eastern cultural background. Kapow! Information becomes easier to comprehend. You don't have to take super strict literal approaches to the text, and the text will still hold its ground theologically and historically.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, man. This is definitely gonna be an interesting one, man. I think that I would definitely like to see more conversations between Christians on things like this where they disagree on doctrine and disagree on history and things like that, just to kind of, parse out what's what, so to speak, and get to some real conclusions. Go ahead, bro.
I was going to say, I really don't think when did the Exodus happen is a doctrinal issue. It's already a presupposed given if you're a Christian, from my perspective. Or if you're a Jew, it's just a presupposed given. You might not be able to say, oh, yeah, I think it happened. Or maybe it could have happened. Like, you might not be able to do that, but it's foundational to the whole theological construction, the framework, the worldview, if you ask me. So I don't really think when did it happen is a doctrinal issue.
Okay.
Hmm.
So what would you consider that then? Is it just a historical issue, or does it have anything to do with Christianity proper, or is it just adjacent to it?
It's a hermeneutical issue, especially once you start talking about historical. It's a historical hermeneutic issue. So
Okay.
the way you read it in light of being critical of the history as it relates, because like again, when I was a kid and I read plenty of liberal secular scholarship. Plenty of liberals say they say a lot of things like, "Oh, you can't trust the Bible. It's all a myth. Just throw it away. It's not worthy of being considered in its ancient historical. There is no ancient historical context because X, Y, Z." So, like, that's a common idea in the field. I don't necessarily agree with it. I get what they're trying to articulate. I just disagree with that methodology, and especially with people like William Deaver. He was one of the archaeologists that sort of started that whole enterprise, sort of put the Bible should be taken separately, or at least that's the way a lot of people took what he was saying. And then
Mm,
I get a little older and I start reading his works. And if you listen to any of like his recent lectures, his most recent lecture on YouTube is at an evangelical institution. He's an atheist, but William Deaver is speaking at Lipscomb University, their little theological library affiliation. And so, like in that speech, he's talking, archaeology for the Old Testament and biblical archaeology should never be devoid from utilizing the biblical narrative. The biblical narrative has a lot of historical value in it. And like, somebody who was taken to be understood like that back in the 70s, 80s, early 90s, and then or even Finkelstein, when you read Finkelstein, he's still incorporating a lot of the biblical literature in his assessments. So it's not like the information is removed. In some senses, it's more or less like, okay, you have a theological bent, a theological look at this information, and then you got, like for Finkelstein, it's more or less okay. He's Israeli. He's of this type. He's raised out there. That's the culture out there, and yet he's looking at it from a different lens. And from my assessment, I agree with some of his information. I agree with some of his dates for when we should say XYZ might have happened if the biblical narrative is true. So it's not that to me, it's just more nuance of a perspective instead of a strict one-to-one correlation when we're talking about doing history. History is not a very specific
Okay.
or particular science. It requires some certain amounts of inferences. So, yeah.
Okay. And with that being said, I'm gonna turn it back to the champ. Champ, do you, being that you are the Pan-African atheist, do you well, I guess I should say, what is it anything that strikes you about um oh man, I got a paycheck coming from YouTube this month. Salute, family. Um, is it anything that strike you from as it relates to um when you hear an intellectual like Courtney, who's a Christian, break things down like this? Our sister Michelle Turner, Pastor Robert Ash, even the Slim Reaper, or Byron Washington, like legit scholars, be it going through the official academic channels or just being well versed and well studied. Um, how does that give you any pause as it relates to your atheist outlook, and do you consider them to be more formidable than, say, a Christian debater who hasn't gone through the academic rigors that they have?
Absolutely more formidable. And I admit to most of them being smarter than me in general. Um, However, it does not give me pause. Um, because first of all, just sort of off of the freedom to be able to decide what you believe and don't believe, or you know what I'm saying, make an assessment based on your experiences on what works best for you. It's just starting from that point and analyzing the different religious beliefs that have been presented. You know what I'm saying? I'm fine in my position, you know what I'm saying, as evidenced in my last debate. But yeah, no, high respects, especially, and see again, to like the cats that you just named too. Like, I super respect people that genuinely believe their thing and genuinely are either seeking or have um this intellectual, deep intellectual study behind their belief. You know what I'm saying? To support what they believe. I respect that. You know what I'm saying? Because trying to seek truth and understanding is what we should be doing as people. And most of those folks, like somebody like Pastor Ash, like, you know what I'm saying, like, he's not a debater. He's not out here trying to push his beliefs down people's throat. He's not being disrespectful to other people, and he's not for any of the negative things that would affect people that don't believe what he believes. So that's my major contention. Outside of me just being back here to debate because I like to argue. I really don't have a contention with people believing what they believe and definitely having reasons for it. So I respect them for the depth of their reasoning. But no, it
Oh,
doesn't give me pause.
gotcha. And so, hey, family, with that being said, man, GT and the Fit Barber GT and Courtney, cut them up, Courtney Thompson, will be squaring off in a face-off in about 15 minutes, maybe about 12 minutes. Link is in the chat for that video. So when we cut out of here, which we will be doing shortly, hit that link. And yes, a shout out to Pastor Robert Ash. And hit that link. And under the Paradigm Shift TV 314 profile that I just put in the chat, and it'll take you straight to the GT and Courtney's face off happening in about, like I said, 12 minutes. And you'll get an idea of where it is the brother's coming from, what to look forward to this Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Time. I also dropped the link for the channel membership. Join the channel membership. I'm in the middle of reconfiguring the tier rewards. I'm going to be doing that within the next week. But hit the channel membership. It helps support the channel, helps support these debates, presentations, interviews, etc. So until next time, family, it's your brother DMG the Poet. That's the undefeated, undisputed, distinguished world champ, Demas.
The champ is here!
The champ is here on Paradigm Shift TV 314. And this is a possible challenge, future challenger for the champ. And our man, cut him up, Courtney Thompson. Because who knows, when the rankings come out at the end of the month, Courtney Thompson might be in that top 10, depending on how he fares against our very own GT. Could be GT in the rankings coming up the challenge pan. So we're going to see, man. As you know, we have a fighting champion over here. Just defended the title against the former Argument King, took that throne and kept his as well. And now he going on to face our brother, LP the Great. So with that being said, do what my man Timotheus just said. Hit that like button. Shout out to Mel. See you in the building. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat. Shout out to my sister, Juju. Good Juju, bad Juju. I call it a glow because whenever the sister hit the screen, she be glowing like the last dragon. Sometimes it be like Show Nuff. Sometimes it be like Bruce Leroy. You got to keep that good Juju, bad Juju thing going. But shout out to that sister. Shout out to everybody that tapped into the chat. Appreciate you. And as always, family, until next time, we will be black at it again. For now, we're going to leave you with that new Paradigm Shift TV 314 theme song by the musical messiah himself, Neo Love. Y'all come back in a little bit, man. Check out GT versus Courtney Thompson. It's going to be the face-off. They will be squaring off this Sunday, 6 p.m. Central Time, right here on Paradigm Shift TV 314. It's the Versus Series. We live in 2025. Right now, we're leaving you with the sounds of Neo Love, the most dangerous Bible believer. Till next time, we'll be black at it again. That's peace.
The following music is performed by the musical messiah, a.k.a. the most dangerous Bible believer. Please be advised by how hard it hits.
You don't wanna have to do it, 'cause if you do it, you gon' have to prove it, you gon' lose it. Nigga, living life in my paradigm, shifting time from one state of mind. Something like the true is yes sir, I can prove it. Go ahead, bring the hallelujah to you. Back up on the beat, back up on the sweet. Pack up all who speak, that on O&E. You don't wanna have to do it, 'cause if you do it, you gon' have to prove it, you gon' lose it. Nigga, living life in my paradigm, shifting time from one state of mind. Something like the true is yes sir, I can prove it. Go ahead, bring the hallelujah to you. Back up on the beat, back up on the sweet. Pack up all who speak, that on O&E. You might know that Neo Love, but Neo Love O&E above. Switching lanes in the turning lane. Old school, no roof above. Carpool, no room for her. Bitch, you cartoons, we gets it up. We check the sources, you listen to voices. You are not living like us. You say you creeping in houses and all of the monsters is living in fearing of us. Pussy, we are not monsters and we are not pouncing and we are not giving a fuck. We up the score on you niggas. We done outgrown out you niggas. Nigga, yeah, with DM the G, Craig and the Craig and nobody. They saying Judah the Nash, but he be trash. Bring me the bag. Why the fuck would you brag? No, you ain't living that bad. You are not rad. I take your choices and put them inside of a bag. Smoke them like hash. Then dump out the ash and now the pussy on the crash. You don't wanna have to do it, 'cause if you do it, you gon' have to prove it, you gon' lose it. Nigga, living life in my paradigm, shifting time from one state of mind. Something like the true is yes sir, I can prove it. Go ahead, bring the hallelujah to you. Back up on the beat, back up on the sweet. Pack up all who speak, that on O&E. You don't wanna have to do it, 'cause if you do it, you gon' have to prove it, you gon' lose it. Nigga, living life in my paradigm, shifting time from one state of mind. Something like the truth is, yes sir, I can prove it. Go ahead, bring the hallelujah to you. Back up on the beat, back up on the sweet. Pack up all who speak bad on O&E. Life in my paradigm, shifting time from one state of mind. Something like the truth is, yes sir, I can prove it. Go ahead, bring the hallelujah to you. Back up on the beat, back up on the sweet. Pack up all who speak bad on